Hello you guys, and welcome back to my channel. This video, as you can see by the title, we are reading the Throne of Glass series and I can't wait. So I'm just going to jump right in and let you know how I like it. If you don't know what Throne of Glass is, I'll read the back cover for you. In a land without magic, an assassin is summoned to the castle. She has no love for the vicious king who rules from his throne of glass, but she has not come to kill him. She has come to win her freedom. If she defeats 23 murderers, thieves, and warriors in a competition, she will be released from prison to serve as the king's champion. Her name is Helena Sardothian. I don't know how you pronounce her name. The crown prince will provoke her, the captain of the guard will protect her, and a princess from a faraway country will befriend her. But something rotten dwells in the castle, and it's there to kill. When her competitors start dying mysteriously, one by one, Helena's fight for freedom becomes a fight for survival, and a desperate quest to root out the evil before it destroys her world. So, let's dive right in. I have my pretty bookmark here. I have the rest of my coffee from this morning. We're just gonna jump right in. My goodness, this map, beautiful. I love when authors put the map in it. It's stunning. Look at all that detail in it. Guys, I know it is a completely different day, but I'm back here again with Louis this time, and I'm here to give you an update. So I got to page 199, so chapter 27, so just about halfway there. I read a little bit this morning, and now I'm on page 222, and it's been really good so far. I really like how they have the world building. I mean, it's slow for here, but since I'm not reading Assassin's Blade, that might be why I'm not really fully immersed in the world. But I really like Selena, whatever her name is. I really like her character, and she very much of a I don't know, but I've really liked her banter with Kale. I think it's really funny how they go back and forth and make fun of each other, or just, you know, just have that sort of banter. And that you get a little bit of a love interest with Dorian, a little, like it's kind of starting, which I mean I figured would become the case, because on the back it says the crown prince will provoke her. I got to the part where something rotten dwells in the castle and it's there to kill. That's been really interesting. And as for her competitors dying off one by one, that's been really interesting too, to try to put together. I'm gonna keep reading. Louis here with me. I've got my coffee again, and I clean this cup just so I can drink out of it every morning. Yes, I do. Thank you. So let's continue reading. So I just finished Throne of Glass, and I really liked it. It was really good. Some of the things I'm still like mulling over that I can't believe happened, but the writing, I just love her writing, and I'm so excited to start Crown of Midnight next. Never trust an assassin. Selena Sardothian won a brutal contest to become King's champion, but she's far from loyal to the crown. Here's the line. I'm so excited to see where she goes from this. I mean, obviously, since it's such a long series, like, you know she's gonna win. I'm interested to see what the love interest will turn out, or how it'll turn out, I mean, because it's interesting. I'm very curious to see what she does. And I loved the Princess Nahimia. But yeah, I really enjoyed this, and I can't wait for tomorrow when I start Crown of Midnight. I might start it tonight, actually. But if you're not following my Goodreads, here's my Goodreads that you can follow. I keep it up to date. Like, every day when I'm done reading for the day, I'll update it. I like how in the back she has like pages to the next book. I just think that it keeps you coming for more of them. I mean, I don't read it because I have the next book. I'm interested to see her explore the rest of the world because the map is huge. So I'm excited to see more of the world because she was just in Endovir and then went to the castle. So I'm excited to see her go on her first mission, and I'm just very happy with how things are going. Very much enjoying it. So I'll see you tomorrow for another update. Hey again, we're back with another update. I am this far into it, page 148. I don't know what page I stopped at last night, but I'm really liking how this is going, and the love interest and the banter and the things that are happening, and the, not plot twist, but like the secret that Selena is keeping to herself. I just love it, and I can't wait to get into more of them. And I realized as I was looking on TikTok the other day that these books are intertwined with the ACOTAR series, which I thought they were. But then when I started this series, I was like, this is a completely different world. Things aren't set up the same. Doesn't really seem like it would intertwine, but I saw that they kind of do. So I'm interested to see how that happens. And I think I'm going to be doing the tandem read when I get there, which is these two, Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn. So I'm interested to see how that will go. I don't think I'll have any problems with it, but as you can see, we have moved locations. Like, if you follow my Instagram, you know that I just had this bookshelf in our living room, so here it is in my office. And these are all the books that I need to read, and I'll show you guys what books I just got the other day. So we got Lessons in Chemistry. I didn't really want the hardcover, but I've heard a lot of good things about it, so just decided to pick it up. It was at Sam's. I'm interested to see how I like it. And then I got the last book of the Good Girls Guide to Murder series. I know there's one more that is before, like a prequel. And then also at Sam's Club, I picked up Verity. My friend Hallie has told me a lot about this, and she liked it a lot, and I've seen it everywhere, so I'm really excited to see how I'm gonna like it. I've heard that there's like a really big plot twist at the end that everybody's just like about, so I'm excited to read this. Not sure when I will be reading this because I think I'm going to be loving this series, so I think I'm just gonna fly right through them to the end and then go to my TBR, but we'll see. My mood might change. I am excited that they are all here in my office. I love it. But page 149, chapter 19. Here we are, and I am excited to continue reading it, but right now I have to go to a midwife appointment, so I will see you guys later today, hopefully. I just finished this, and oh my word. So I really like how things are going, to say the least. Wow, like I literally just finished it. I probably should have sat with it for a little bit before filming anything, but the things that happen in this book, oh my word. So Dorian now is starting his magical powers. Selena gets more knowledge of the word marks, the keys, all of that, and Kale eventually finds out, well, she tells him, and then he sends her to Wendolyn, and then so the next morning she is leaving and she whispers in his ear a date, and then when he goes back to her room he finds the book of genealogies, and the date that she gave him is this morning. King Orlan Galathinius, his nephew and heir Ro Galathinius, and Ro's wife Evelyn were found assassinated. Orlan was murdered in his bed at the royal palace in Orange. Ro and Evelyn were found dead in their beds at their country estate along the river Florine. There's no word yet about the fate of Ro and Evelyn's daughter, Aelin. And for those of you that remember reading, Selena says that she crawled into her parents' bed thinking that the bed was soaked just with water because it had been raining. Her parents were assassinated in their bed and she crawled in. And then Aelin Galathinius, heir to the throne of Terrasen, died today, or sometime in the night. Before help could reach her deceased parents' estate, the assassin who missed her the night before returned. Her body has still not been found, though some believe it was thrown into the river behind her parents' house. Okay? She'd once said that Arabin had found her half dead and frozen on a riverbank. So now they have the Queen of Terrasen right here. She's here. I'm excited to read the next one, Air of Fire. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for that. I just finished Air of Fire, and I really liked how everything turned out. Well, not everything, but we'll get to that. So this book really goes along the storyline of Aelin and Rowan, and I really liked how it changed back to Kale and Dorian, and then also went to Manon, is that her name? Yeah, Manon, which I think we'll see more in the next book, but I'm not gonna read Queen of Shadows yet. I'm gonna read Assassin's Blade, and this is the one before Throne of Glass, so it's the backstory. I'm interested to see like her backstory and then go into Queen of Shadows to get more of Manon, all those witches, the dragon, or the wyverns, I guess, and to see more of Dorian's power, because at the end, oh my word. Anyways, I really liked how she got to train with Rowan and her powers have grown, and it was like, dang girl, at times. Like when she was fighting the three creatures in Mistfold, I think that's what it was. That was cool to see. And then I'm very interested what is going to happen with the word keys and the towers. And now that Dorian's collared by the king's dark magic and the word stone, I think that's what it is, the word stone collar. And then I also want to know what happens to Aiden. Aiden is now locked in the dungeons of Adarlan's king, and Aelin is on her way back to then be greeted with all of this. So, and I have been annotating more, like underlining stuff. And if you guys watch Brooklyn and Bailey, then you know that they got the to whatever end tattoos. So with the first time that it was said, I had to underline it, and one of the times that I underlined it was page 473. So this is during the battle protecting Mistford. So he had come for her. He held his gaze as she grabbed her own dagger and cut her palm right above the scar she'd given herself at Nehemiah's grave. And though she knew he could read the words on her face, she said, "To whatever end?" He nodded, and she joined hands with him, blood to blood and soul to soul, his other arm coming around to grip her tightly. Their hands clasped between them. He whispered into her ear, "I claim you too, Aelin Galathinius." So I'm so happy about their friendship and how platonic it is. I don't know, maybe we'll get to see more of that in the next book, but it didn't sound like he was coming with her back to Adarlan, so not sure. Maybe we'll get to that, but as for now, this goes back on the shelf, and we go on to The Assassin's Blade. Twist of a Knife, The Birth of a Legend. So it says, included in this volume, the assassin and the pirate lord, the assassin and the healer, the assassin in the desert, and the assassin in the underworld, the assassin and the empire. So they're all little novellas. So they're all split up like this, and then it goes like after, and then chapter 1 to whatever. So that's cool. Anyways, I am really looking forward to this, and I will see you guys when I'm farther along. But I am really loving this series, and I've been reading them so fast. I think I finished this one in 3 days, maybe. But I mean, it's not a thin book. It's definitely bigger than this one. I don't think that this one will take me very long, especially since it's smaller and I already know her. But I'm kind of scared that it will turn me off a little bit because I just want to get to Queen of Shadows. So it could be a motivation. So I just finished Assassin's Blade, and made me sad to read the end. One of the last things that she says is, "My name is Selena Sardathian," she whispered, "and I will not be afraid. I will not be afraid." And that's one of the things that Sam told her, I don't remember what page, but he told her that he does that. He says, "I'm Sam Cortland and I'm not afraid, or I will not be afraid." And that's something that she says in other books too. "I am Selena Sardathian. I will not be afraid." Anyways, I really liked all the different stories in it. When I started this, I didn't realize that all the little novellas were in this. So that was interesting, and I really liked each of them. I think my favorite one probably when she was in the desert. Oh, I was so mad at Ansel for how she betrayed the mute master. Oh my goodness. Okay, so in The Assassin and the Pirate Lord, they start a bar fight, her and Sam do, and then they have a spot that they meet up, and Rolf, the Pirate Lord, is there, or finds them there, and she sends Sam to take down the chain in the catapult so that the slave ships can get through, while she stays back and she fights with the Pirate Lord, Rolf. So she knocks him out, and then she's running after Sam towards the tower with the chain and the catapults on it. But how does Rolf get there at the same time that she does? He's older, bigger, and then he was unconscious, I thought. Don't know. I didn't really get the point of the assassin and the healer, so maybe she comes up in other books. Maybe. I don't know. But, and then the assassin in the desert. It was such a sweet story, and not sweet, I guess, but I really liked seeing her friendship with Ansel, and then for her to be betrayed by her made me so mad. And I'm glad that she didn't end up killing her, though, that she left her alive to flee, but with an inch of her life. So if that says anything to Selena's abilities, then I don't know what does. And then the underworld. I was so annoyed with this one. I hated how the king of the assassins, I'm totally blanking on his name, Arabin, how he tricked her into killing Donoval, whatever the guy's name is, and to find out that he was one of the leaders to free slaves, and then to trick her into thinking that he was one of the ones that was trying to get slaves. But it was sweet to see her and Sam start to get together. I underlined on page 314, he loved her for years and he'd endured so much for her sake. And then she swore an oath to the moonlight that if Sam were hurt, no force in the world would hold her back from slaughtering everyone responsible. He ended up dying. She killed Jane? I think it was Jane. But it was heartbreaking to have read the other books and know that he dies, and know that all the hours of waiting were useless because she could have been there. And it was really hard to get into this book because I wanted to continue on with the timeline and go straight into Queen of Shadows, so it almost put me in a slump. I hadn't read it for a few days. I started this last Friday and now it's next Friday, so it's been very slow reading for me, and I was just telling myself just get through it so that I can get to Queen of Shadows. That's where I'm gonna be happily reading for the rest of the day after I make dinner. But Assassin's Blade, man, I would definitely recommend reading Assassin's Blade at the beginning if you're one of those people that likes things in timeline order and could get in a slump if you don't. So I would recommend to anybody to read Assassin's Blade first, because I did do that and regretted it and almost got in a slump because of it. So those are my thoughts on Assassin's Blade. I'm sure not all of them because I've underlined and had a few days to go through it and process. So I should have been updating you guys as I was reading it, but I was just getting so frustrated that I was feeling like I was in a slump. Now I can be excited to move on with the series. So I will see you for an update on Queen of Shadows. So I'm on chapter 20 of Queen of Shadows, and Aelin just rescued Aiden from the castle, and on the way out, Dorian was in like the garden area, but he has that birdstone collar, so he's not himself. He has a Valk prince inside of him that is like taking him over, basically, like possessing him, I guess. So Aelin gave him 1 minute to show that Dorian was still in there and was about to kill him, but Kale stopped her before she killed him and basically like called her a liar and said, supposed to try to get Dorian out if you could. So I don't know if they rescued Dorian or not, but it's heart-wrenching to read the parts from Dorian's point of view because you can see that he is still in there and like the Valk prince is like taking over more and more of his mind. It's just like, you know, he's in there, and I wish that she would have just put the shackles that she got from Aiden, because Aiden was chained, and she unlocked him using like the word spells. So I wish she would have just put those on him and brought him with, and I don't know how it would have worked out, but I wish that she would have. It's sad, but yeah, that's where I'm at now, and now I'm back to Manon and their company. Oh my goodness, guys, why didn't you tell me this book was gonna get so good? I'm on page 362, and Louis wants to say hi as well. Hello. He's tired and really wants to take a nap up here with me. Anyways, I found out that Lysandra is a shapeshifter. What? And then Aelin, Rowan, and Aiden all went to the Assassin's Keep because Arobynn wanted them to capture a Valk commander and like bring him to him so that he could interrogate him. So they did that, and then Arobynn took the black ring, like he cut off the Valk's finger and took the ring. And then after dinner, Aelin and Arobynn are in the living room, I guess, in front of the fireplace, talking about how she wants the amulet back and other things. So he gives it to her, and then he's like leaning over her, and then he slips on the black ring, cuts her wrist, and then like licks it. Like, that's how you're controlled. That's what they found out from interrogating the Valk commander, was that the king was doing that to have control over them. So they just got back to her apartment and it was all fake. She had to pretend to be taken. Like, she had to pretend to be under his control. I was so mad when Arobynn did that, but then as soon as they got back and found out it was fake, I was like, oh my goodness. I need to update you guys. So I also love Rowan and Aelin. They're so, I don't know, cutesy, I guess. I love how they can like read each other's minds. Like, it's very much giving Rhysand and Feyre vibes, so I'm really liking it. I'm on page 362 and I think I'm more than halfway now, but I've been loving this book so far. So that's my update for you guys. Right? Now she gets all of his assets after planning to kill him? What the heck? Oh my word. This book just keeps getting better and better. Better and better. And now she's offering Turn, Harding, and Mullen the chance to pay her to get the house, but it's an outrageous sum, but they have 3 hours to do it. Oh my word. She's like such... I think it's funny that before she entered the house, she was like, don't get in my way, to Aiden and Rowan. And I think it's hilarious that they use rutting instead of the F word, but they'll use other swear words, so it's just unique to the book. But go off, Lysandra. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that it was that easy to kill. Like, also, like, why did she wait so long? Oh well, I'm gonna keep reading. This is so good. I really want to finish it today and get started on the tandem read. And it breaks my heart every time that they cut back to Dorian, because there's such short chapters. Like sometimes it's just this size. Like the demon gripped him tightly, forcing him to watch as his own hands gripped a cruel-looking device, fitting it into the man's face, and began tightening. And whenever demon's talking, it's like italics. But he's still in there, and I hope that they can get him out. We'll see. I'm nervous. We have finished Queen of Shadows. I can't even believe it. It took me almost a week to read it. I don't even know why, but I underlined so much in here. This is probably one of my favorite parts. And then the tension between Rowan and Aelin. Oh, and Manon. So you know how she has like the gold eyes? So every time she is near, I guess not every time, but the time that she was near Dorian, the demon inside of him did not want him to talk to her, didn't want him to be near her, because we do not speak of them, the descendants of our kings. She's a descendant of a vowed king. And I loved how Aelin paid Lysandra and Evangeline's debts. At the earliest convenience, they may receive the mark of their freedom. I have liked seeing how their friendship is building. Page 436. If you know, you know. I really liked how things have been progressing. And then as they're trying to get Dorian back, the prince staggered back. This is page 564. The prince staggered back a step, his face twisting. You human worm. He had been too busy stabbing her to notice the ring she'd slipped onto his finger when she'd grabbed his hand as if to shove him away. So I was like, ah! The golden ring that is like immunity, I guess, to the Valg kings, or the Valg. And then when they're like in the dungeon and Rowan and Aiden are gonna fight to the death and like call each other brother and stuff like that, they think they're gonna die, and then the commander's hand came down and was ripped clean off by a ghost leopard. And that came in again because they had joked about her being a shapeshifter and being a ghost leopard, and she didn't know what that was. So I thought it was funny that she turned into ghost leopard, and it's like her chosen form, I guess. And then her just fighting them was cool to see. Oh my word. And then the king, oh my word. So this is when they're on the bridge and Aelin and Dorian are like holding hands and throwing their power at him, I guess. Together they broke down every spell, every ounce of evil that he'd been and shackled to his command. They were full of light, of fire, of starlight and sunshine. They overflowed with it as they snapped the final tether on the king's power and cleaved his darkness, bringing it up until it was nothing. The king fell to his knees, the glass bridge thudding with the impact. In a voice she had never heard, the king whispered, "My boy." Dorian did not react, though. The king gazed up at his son, his eyes wide, bright, and said again, "My boy." Then the king looked to where she was on her knees, gaping at him. "Have you come to save me at last, Aelin Galathinius?" So, I don't know why I didn't think about this earlier, but he had a dark ring on. So I just thought it was because he put it on to control everybody else, and that was him, just he wanted to have control over everybody else, so he put that ring on. Little did I know. Aelin studied the king's hand where the dark ring had been shattered away, and then she asked him, "Who are you?" she said quietly. Human. More and more the king looked human, softer. The king turned to Dorian, exposing his broad palms. "Everything I did, it was all to keep you safe. From him. Parrington took me under the keep to show me the crypt. I opened it and he came. He took Parrington's body and he let his minion take me. Erewhon was Parrington." That was an interesting turn of events, to say the least. The way that Aelin slipped the eye of Elena into Kael's pocket when she fled the throne room. Like, I didn't think it would work on, like, humans, but because of the courage of his heart or whatever, it did. So, between that and Rowan's magic, he survived. And then, after the battle, Rowan says to her, "You make me want to live too, Aelin Galathinius. Not exist, but live." And she had said that to him earlier, and I just thought that was really cute that he returned that saying back to her in the last sentence of the book. And at long last, Aelin Ashriver Galathinius was home. There were so many things to it, and I've really liked seeing Manon and the witches come together in Allied. Like, I don't know how Allied's gonna come into it, because in Empire of Storms, Lorcan is there, and he, like, scents her, I guess, and she's, like, part demon, apparently. But I think that she's just part witch. I don't know. I've been trying to underline more and more in these books. if they make me like feel a certain way, like either like happy or like shocked or surprised, I guess. I don't know. Queen of Shadows is really good, and I'm looking forward to the tandem read, which I'm about to get to. I think it's so weird that it's not like you read this many chapters in Empire of Storms and then the same amount of chapters in Tower of Dawn. It's fine. I liked how it began, how Empire of Storms began with Nightfall, and it starts with Princess Elena and Gavin, and showed like kind of how they had to like kill him or at least trap him. I liked how they incorporated that into it. And then I do not like, what's his name? Darrow. Goodness. Like, I thought they were meeting to help her, but then they'd already signed her off. What's up with that? Like, seriously? Everybody's just signing her off right away before meeting her, before anything. Just because they don't like her past and don't think that she could be the queen just because she's 19 and the things that she's done in her past. And him just making fun of her court. I didn't like that. I love how Rowan on 68 says, "You are my fire heart." I just think it's so cute. I can't wait until they can be happy together. They deserve it. But I read Nightfall and chapters 1 through 5 of this, so now I'm going to read chapter 1 of this and then go back into Empire of Storms. So I'll see you later on. So I'm realizing now that I never updated you guys past chapter 1 of Tower of Dawn and chapters 1 through 5 of Empire Storms, and now I'm in Kingdom of Ash and that far into it, so I thought I should give an update. Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn was a tough tandem read for me. I don't know why, but I just never tandem read before, so it was hard, I guess, to read 2 books at once since I'm not used to that. I feel like they should have just been like one book. Like, this is a huge book, 980 something pages, so I feel like they should have been just one book. But anyways, I really liked seeing the things happening in the different parts of the world. Like, I liked seeing Alide and Lorcan and Kale and Irene and seeing their love start, and then now reading Kingdom of Ash, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy that they're together. Pregnant? The fact that he didn't know that his wife was pregnant, like, blows my mind. Like, how did you not know? She's been, like, green in the face, eating and nauseous. And anyways, we found out a bunch of stuff. Maeve is a Vowed Queen, and then the spiders are, like, her people, I guess. And that... Oh, and then Nicerne and Sartak. I can't wait to see that happen. And then Dorian and Manon. That's interesting. But I don't even know all that happened in the books now, looking back on it. I don't know. The scene where Aelin annihilates all the Oaken army coming at them, and then Lorcan and Gabrielle and whoever else was there, I forget right now, just like backing her up, shooting their arrows at them, and just being, I don't know, total warriors. That was crazy. Wait, Lorcan didn't help at that point. Rowan, Aiden, Gabrielle, and Fenners, I think. And now they're in this battle, and I'm expecting her to do that, but she's just fighting with the sword, so it's been a little interesting. And then at the end of that tandem read, Aelin gets captured. That was heartbreaking. But now she's free where I'm at in this book. Right now, they just started the battle against Morath. Like, she was just, like, starting to fight, and not with her magic, just, like, sword fighting. And she's not helpless, not contained, never again. Death became a melody in her blood, every movement a dance as the tide of soldiers pouring from the tower slowed. And I've really liked how the guys have sworn blood oaths to her, and now she's just waiting for Aiden and Gabrielle. And Gabrielle was kind of like asking Rowan, like, why hasn't she offered it to me? Because I would give it to her. I would happily do that. But Aelin just wants to give Aiden the chance to do that first. People have said that you're gonna cry, and I don't know how I'm feeling. I really don't like to see a bunch of war and like politics and stuff, and that's a lot of what's happening in this book, so I'm surprised at how fast I'm reading it. We're chapter 58. I've really liked how Manon has developed as a character too. Like, she was just this warrior and didn't care about anybody, just was gonna do her duty and that was it. Was afraid to love or care about anybody. But I think her 13 and then also Dorian has been like cracking out that hard exterior heart of hers, and now we see her character development, which I really liked. And she just fought her grandmother and like the two other matrons, I guess. Beheaded one of them, the yellow legs one, and then she told the blue blood one to flee. And then she was gonna kill her grandmother, like let her second Astrid kill her, but she fled and she let her go. So I was a little mad about that she let her go, because Dorian also could have just killed her too. Oh, what was interesting to me is that Dorian killed the spider and like took her shifting power, I guess. I'm not really sure, but now he's able to shift. Like, he was able to shift into like just small features at first, and then a raven, and now a woman. So it's really interesting. Excited to see where his character will go and what he'll do with getting the keys and everything, because that's where he wants to go. He wants to get the third key from Morath, but Manon does not want him to because she cares about him. But yeah, that's where we're at in here. For Tower of Dawn, I did not guess that it was Duva who was possessed or whatever. But then, like, thinking back on it, I'm like, that makes sense. She's letting the pregnancy, like, give her excuses to be in places where normally you just wouldn't be. Like, they went to Irene's birthday party, but she stayed back. So that excuse let her stay back and prepare a trap for Kale and Irene. She was able to search their rooms for the texts and scrolls and stuff like that. So yeah, I was not expecting that, but I'm glad that it ended the way it did. And now Kale and Irene are like life bonded together. So like, if he dies, she dies. And if she dies, then he dies. And if she's using her power, then he's not as able to walk or move around. But if she's at full strength, then he has no problem. So like, that's an interesting thing that we're kind of seeing a little bit in this one. I think more will happen with it later on. Right now, nothing has been too dramatic. Like, he's still been able to fight, but being extra careful because he is a father now. So I'm excited to see how this ends. And then I'm also wanting to read Fourth Wing after this because I keep seeing people read it and I really want to get to it. But I'm only 17 days from baby girl's due date, so we'll see how much reading I get done. It might just be that I get done with this book and then she'll be here, and then reading will be slower, but I'm hoping to at least get through this book. I will try to do better with updating you guys. Hey guys, I have finished Throne of Glass, finally. I didn't expect to have finished this so fast because it's a lot of battle and politics, but I surprised myself. I didn't expect to, just because I normally don't enjoy the politics and the war type things, but I got through it really fast. I annotated so much of this, like on this page, like a lot of that. And then this, oh man, that was such a good part. Finding out that Dorian's dad is named Dorian and he was the nameless is my price. So that was cool. And also the way that the prophecy was fulfilled for the witches, that was cool. But also very, very sad. Like, this is when it's happening. And then when the blue blood error kills Iskra, and then she says for Keeley, that part. And then on the other page. So as they're getting ready to, I should be going the other way instead of from the back, but anyways, Aiden says, let's make this fight worthy of a song. And then I'm like, should I be prepared with tissues? Because everybody I've seen read this has said that they've cried a lot, and I didn't. But I teared up a few times, especially when Gabrielle died. That was really sad. Oh my goodness, when Dorian tricked Maeve, chapter 78. Oh my goodness. That, I thought she was tricking him, but he was tricking her. I should have, like, expected that, though, because he took Cyrene's shifting power. Like, his power recognized the shifting power and, like, took it and learned it, and then he was able to do it. So I should have been catching on to that, but whatever. Yeah, a lot of this was the battle. Oh, so when Aelin had 3 months to conserve her power and just the whole army. Like, I wish that she could have done that twice. One here and then one for Maeve and Erewhon, but what can you do? Oh my word. And then I thought Lorcan died, and then Eli went out there to save him. Oh, and then when she gets him on the horse, this is page 524. He's saying, "I love you," he whispered in Elide's ear. "I have loved you from the moment you picked up that axe to slay the Ilkin." Her tears flowed past him in the wind. "And I will be with you," his voice broke. But he made himself say the words, the truth in his heart. "I will be with you always." He was not frightened of what would come for him once he tumbled off the horse. He was not frightened at all if it meant her reaching the keep. So Lorcan kissed Eli's cheek again, allowed himself to breathe in her scent one last time. "I love you," he repeated, and began to withdraw his arms from around her waist. And Eli said, "Don't you dare." And then Elide slapped her hand onto his forearm, dug her nails in right into his skin, fierce as any rock. "No." There were no tears in her voice, nothing but solid, unwavering steel. "No," she said again. And then he's like trying to move his arm and realized that if he tumbled off the horse, then she would also, because her grip would not be dislodged. Together, they would either outrun this or die together. I thought it's really cool that you can tell when people are mates because they start talking to each other, like, telepathically. Oh, on page 502. Lorcan could barely lift his sword before the soldier plunged his own into Lorcan's gut. Lorcan fell, sword clattering. Then there was roaring and then blackness. And I was like, excuse me? No way did he go through character development for this to happen to him. Jaw dropped. I was like, absolutely not. Like, there's no way that he could die, but if he did, like, oh my word. And then chapter 44, when I think everybody had gone to bed, and then Aelin is then, like, dreaming this, I guess. It starts with, "How shall I carve you up today, Aelin?" And then it says, no, it couldn't have been a dream. She realizes that it's just an illusion, or she's dreaming that it's a dream, I guess. So my heart dropped at that part. I was like, are you serious? There's no way that Sarah J. Maas wrote all of this just for that to then be a dream. Oh, and I loved when they got the rings. Rowan goes, "I assume the sparkly emerald is for me." And I love how their saying is, "to whatever end." A reminder and a vow more sacred than the wedding oaths they'd sworn on that ship. I love them. They're so cute. But I also hate that she had been lying to him. Oh, and Fenris got to break the blood oath and then swear it to Aelin because he was dying. I think I started annotating pretty early. Oh. When Rowan was picturing his life with Aelin. Yeah, he was dreaming. Hand on her rounded belly. Children, his children, their children, his family. And I wrote, I want them to have this future more than anything. Oh, Dorian. He was so depressing. On page 48. "Tell me where," Dorian breathed. "Tell me where the third key is. Your life would be forfeit too if you retrieve the keys and forge the lock. Your soul will be claimed as well. Not one scrap of you will live on in the afterworld." He was talking to Gavin. There's no one who would really care about that anyway. He certainly didn't, and he certainly deserved that sort of end when he'd failed so many times with what he'd done. I was like, don't be depressing, Dorian. People care about you. But yeah, that is overall my thoughts on this. Oh, okay, so back to my point of Aelin lying to Rowan and Dorian, everybody, about when she and Dorian would, like, forge the lock. So they're holding hands. They're in that between space, I guess. And he is wearing Damaris, and that summons his father. And then that's when they find out that his name was Dorian and that he was a nameless one. And then she basically makes the deal with Dorian's dad for him to take over. So she's used a lot of Dorian's magic already. And then Dorian's dad finishes it. So that made me upset, but I really like the part when she is talking with Mala, I think. One second. When Gabrielle died, I wrote needless death because he could have survived. But anyways, get to the part on page 790. She's trying to make a bargain with them to a trade before you fulfill your end. You have sworn to take Erewhon with you to destroy him. I would like to trade Erewhon's soul for Elena's, because Elena was going to be like banished or like completely destroyed or whatever because of what she had done back in the day with not destroying Erewhon in the first place. And the gods looked among themselves. Then Deanna moved, graceful as a stag through a wood. Deanna laid her hands on either side of Elena's face. I had hoped for this. Then she pressed her hands together, Elena's head clasped between them. A flare of light from Mala in warning and pain as Elena's eyes went wide as Deanna squeezed. And then Elena ruptured into 1,000 shimmering pieces that faded as they fell. Deanna wiped her ghostly hands and said, we do not make bargains with mortals, not any longer. Keep Erewhon if that is what you wish. One by one, the gods strode through the archway into their own world. Some sneered down at her as they passed. They would not take Erewhon, would not do anything. And then Aelin hears the, make sure that they're punished someday, every last one of them. They will be, she'd sworn to Kaltain. They had lied, had betrayed Elena and Irelia as they had believed themselves betrayed. And so I'm writing on the side like, what's up her sleeve? What's she gonna do? She was no lamb to slaughter, no sacrifice on an altar of the greater good, and she was not done yet. Aelin met Mala's burning stare. Do it, Mala said quietly. Aren't you gonna stop me? Mala only held out her hand. In it lay the kernel of white-hot power, a fallen star. Take it, one last gift to my bloodline. And then Aelin took the kernel of power from her palm. It was the sunrise contained in a seed. When it is done, seal the gate and think of home. The marks will guide you. Mala held out her hand again, and an image formed with it of the tattoos across Aelin's back. A flick of Mala's finger and symbols rose from it, hidden within the words, the feathers. Word marks. Rowan had hidden word marks in her tattoo, had inked word marks all over it. A map home, Mala said, the image fading to him. So Rowan suspected that she would do something to a better world, Mala said, and walked through the doorway into her own. A better world. A world with no gods, no masters of fate. A world of freedom. Far out, standing over the hills, the gods paused. Aelin's smile turned into a grin, wicked and raging. It did not falter as she found the world she sought, as she dipped into that eternal, terrible power. Aelin ripped open a hole in their sky. I'm like skipping over parts if you're following along. A portal into a hell realm, a door thrown open. Aelin was still smiling when she closed the archway into the gods' world and left them to it. The sounds of their outraged, frightened screams ringing out. And I said, good, they deserve it for all the good they did. With an eye roll. Oh, and when she's going through all the different worlds too, on her way back to her own world, worlds of light, worlds of towers that stretch to the skies, worlds of silence, so many. She passed through a world of snow-capped mountains under shining stars, passed over one of those mountains where a winged male stood beside a heavily pregnant female gazing at those very stars. Fae. They were Fae, but this was not her world. She flung out a hand as if she might signal them, as if they might somehow help her when she was nothing but an invisible speck of power. The winged male, beautiful beyond reason, snapped his head toward her as she arched across the starry sky. He lifted a hand as if in greeting. A blast of dark power, like a gentle summer night, slammed into her, not to attack but to slow her down. A wall, a shield that she tore and plunged through, but it slowed her. The winged male's power slowed her just enough. Aelin vanished from his world without a whisper. So, is that the little snippet that everybody's talking about? Because I thought it'd be more, and I was disappointed. That it's not more than that, because everybody was saying you have to finish the books in order to figure out how these two are connected. If it's that little snippet, I'm disappointed. But anyways, I've been going on for 20 minutes and it's time to shelve this and move on to my next read, which is Fourth Wing. I have it out of the sleeve right now, but I do have the hardback with the sprayed edges and it's so pretty. But yes, on to Fourth Wing. I didn't think I would get into that or want to get into that right away after finishing this. I thought I would get into this one, Love and Gelato, or this one, A Mystery, The House Across the Lake, but I did not. I should give you a little updated book haul, I guess. So I got Love and Gelato, as I just showed you, and then The House Across the Lake, and then this one. I'm excited about this one. I think it's a three 3-book series. And then I went to a thrift store and they had 50-cent paperbacks and $1 hardbacks, or $1.50 hardbacks. But I got The Deep by Nick Cutter. I got The Crossing, and it's signed, so that's cool. I think this is my first signed book, so I don't really know what it's gonna be or how I'm gonna like it, but we'll see. And then The Fix. Apparently this is Barnes & Noble special edition. There wasn't very much to pick through, but I'm very curious to see how they are. And then I don't remember if I showed you that I finally got As Good as Dead, so now I have all of these ready to go whenever I decide to finally finish the series. I read the first one, started this one, and then lost it because this one is like a podcast style. This one was pretty good as I remember, but it didn't catch my interest. So my TBR shelf is a lot. It is all of this bottom shelf, and has crept over to there, so I need to get on it. I doubt I would finish it before baby comes. I think I'll be able to finish 4th wing, maybe, but the 29th is tomorrow and I'll be 39 weeks. So let's maybe give you a little bump update. But yeah, I think I'm going to maybe be able to finish 4th wing before she comes, and then she'll be here. I don't know. It's crazy to think that she'll be here so soon. I mean, she could be here in 2 weeks, but we're hoping not. That is all for my Throne of Glass readings. That's crazy. I am glad that I documented this because then I can always remember what I thought of these books. I mean, I started annotating, I don't remember. I don't think I did Throne of Glass. I'm gonna see if I did Assassin's Blade. I don't think I did. Oh, no, I did. So maybe I did all but Throne of Glass. So thank you guys so much for watching my Throne of Glass reading vlog. It's been a long time. It is June 28th. And I don't remember when I started this, probably last month, month before, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know, but it's been really great. I really like the series. I don't think it's better though than ACOTAR. A lot of people were like, if you love ACOTAR, you will absolutely love Throne of Glass, like it's so much better. But I think I liked ACOTAR better. I think I did. There's not, I mean, this one has the war in it, and I didn't love war, but it was like short. This one had battles going on, and that was like, not interested. And also, it seemed like a lot happened. I don't know, but it is one of my favorite series now, so I can say that. And I'm looking forward to 4th wing and all the rest of my books on my my TBR that I need to get to. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.